from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories. From missing funds to policy failures, we ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to the talk, please discuss.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Afcon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
From the views on the street
we go to bed empty hunger
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news,
sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries. Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
You have more.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Lovisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging. Picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
2564 Atlantic Tower. What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
All right, the Friday edition of the Locker Room and Voice of the People Television with me, Jerry High. So much going down the exciting world of football, action-packed as far as the round of 16 is concerned. And of course, there's so much to focus on as far as the African Cup of Nations is concerned. The battle for the English Premier League title is also on the cards as Manchester City played a draw against Sunderland last night. No one saw that coming, but it looks like Sunderland is the trump card as far as talking about the race for the title in the EPL is concerned. Arsenal sitting pretty on top, and so much more we'll be talking about on the show this Friday edition. Of course, the first Friday edition of the Locker Room and Voice of the People Television in the year 2026. And Happy New Year to all our viewers. We appreciate all you did with us in 2025, and we would like you to keep it up in 2026, and we promise to serve you better, serve you all the latest and the hottest gist as far as football is concerned, coming from the Super Eagles and what's happening on the foreign scene, all about football, on the locker room. And of course, it promises to be exciting. Maiwa gets to join me virtually as we take a look at what's happening in the exciting world of football. And of course, we interest Nigerians to know that the group stage team of the tournament has been unveiled by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. And of course, and on that note, it will interest you to know that Coach Eric Chelle was named the best coach in the first round of games in the group stage. He was made the best coach. He was nominated and elected, we want to put it that way, as the best coach of the round of 16. He won 3 games out of 3, beating Tanzania before beating Tunisia, and we're going on to beat Uganda. And of course, with that remarkable feat, CAF felt that he's the best man to be given the coach of the group stage as far as the CAF team of the group stage is concerned. The head coach of the senior national team was picked as the coach of the tournament after the first round of games in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. And CAF Technical Study Group made public the best 11 players of the group stage and picked the Nigerian who led his team to 3 wins out of 3 as the coach for the group games. And of course, Chelle's team will be in action on Monday against Mozambique in the round of 16, hoping to better their record of 8 goals scored and 4 conceded in 3 games. And of course, Maiwa is now with us. Maiwa, how do you feel about the Super Eagles? They're in the round of 16, but the news is that CAF has elected, or would I say, thought about it and said that Coach Eric Chelle is the best coach for the group stage. It's great to have you join us on the locker room.
Well, it's always amazing to be here, and happy
New Year to you. Happy New Year to you and your family. All right, it seems like I'm struggling to hear you, Maiwa. Okay? All right, it seems like the communication network there is not really networking, but we hope that we'll be able to get Maiwa clearly as soon as possible. We're just talking about the best 11 for the group stage as far as the CAF is concerned. Ademola Lookman, who leads the attack of the team, was the only player considered good enough for the best 11 players of the group stage after picking up 2 assists with 2 goals as well. Nigeria hope to go one step better than last time out when they were beaten finalists after losing 1-2 to the host Cote d'Ivoire in the final. And of course, if our producers will have the first 11 out there so that Nigerians will understand what we're talking about as far as the first 11 for talking about the group stage of the African Cup of Nations is concerned. And of course, in goal, there's talking about the Egyptian goalkeeper, talking about El Shenawi. He is in goal as far as the group stage is concerned. He has been voted the best goalkeeper of the group stage. There's also Twanzebe, a former Man United player and playing for DR Congo. There's also Tapsoba of Burkina Faso making the calls as far as the defense lineup is concerned. It's a 2-man back line, centre back position. And of course, there's Baleba, the guy with Brighton who plays for Cameroon. He makes the calls as far as the first 11 is concerned. There's also Mazrui, the Manchester United right back, making talking about the team of the group stage, best 11. He plays for Morocco. And there's also talking about Abdi of Tunisia. The Tunisian left back makes the cut. And of course, going up front, there's Ademola Lookman. And there's also Brahim. And of course, for those who know Brahim, he plays for Real Madrid and definitely for Morocco. And there's also Riyad Mahrez from the right wing. And there's Ahmad Diallo, the Manchester United player for Cote d'Ivoire. He plays out there in the center forward position. And that's quite questionable, but it is what it is. He's not a natural center forward. He likes to play from the wings. And there's also Sadio Mane of Senegal. He makes the cut. And of course, down there, there's Eric Chelle, Eric Sekou Chelle, the coach of the Afcon group stage as you have it. And of course, congratulations to Ademola Lookman and Coach Eric Chelle for making the cut for talking about the group stage best 11 as far as the CAF study group is concerned. Congratulations to the guys as far as that one is concerned. All right, let's talk about the Super Eagles. They get a very crucial one against Mozambique. That game comes up talking about this Monday and next week Monday, I beg your pardon. And of course, those are the players that believe that are the best as far as all the group stage games is concerned. And Rachel makes the cut. And of course, DR Congo, all of these teams, if you look at them, they are all in the round of 16. All of these players, they are going to be in the round of 16. They've done excellently well for their sides to guarantee their spot in the round of 16. And their efforts have been recognized for putting their team through. Let's not forget the Super Eagles won 3 games out of 3. They're the only team, they're the team alongside Algeria that won 3 games out of 3 as far as the group stage is concerned. And that is why you can see Ademola Lookman and Eric Chelle making the cut as far as that one is concerned. And let's talk about the Mozambique national team. They're already talking. The head coach of the senior national team of Mozambique, talking about Chiquinho Koundé, says his team will approach the round of 16 game against Nigeria on Monday with respect, not fear. And of course, Koundé's team booked a spot for the game against Nigeria after losing 1-2 to Cameroon in the final group game of the tournament. They ended up as one of the best 4 third-place teams in the tournament from all groups, and they are up against Nigeria, who won all of their group games, scoring 8 goals and conceding 4 to finish as winners of the group, and also maintain their status as favourites for the title. And of course, earlier today, the Eagles team were seen training as far as talking about that game against Mozambique is concerned. They are in high spirits, and the guys have taken to the training pitch ahead of that very crucial fixture against the Mozambicans. And if you take a look at the training videos, if our producers will get it for us so that our viewers can enjoy what the Super Eagles are cooking as far as the preparation for the game against talking about the Mozambique national team is concerned. And so far so good. Eric Chelle has been talking tough. They are not going to underrate the Mozambique national team. Yeah, they are not going to underrate the Mozambique national team as far as that one is concerned. And of course, we know that the Mozambicans are not going to be pushed over. The coach has already said they will not be approaching that game with any form of fear, but total respect for the Super Eagles. And of course, for those who don't know Mozambique, they're very, very interesting side. They have a lot to prove as far as this competition is concerned. All right, and let's talk about the round of 16 proper, where it looks like it's going to be a very, very blockbuster games to look forward to as far as the round of 16 is concerned. Because if you take a look at the lineup of cast to look forward to as far as the big names in African football, talking about Achraf Hakimi, Mohamed Salah, and Victor Osimhen, they had the star-packed Afcon last 16 cast. And of course, all attention will now be switched to the knockout stage, which kicks off from Saturday when the Africa Cup of Nations resumes in Morocco. Paris Saint-Germain defender Hakimi was crowned the 2025 African Player of the Year in November, and Liverpool attacker Salah and Galatasaray striker Osimhen were the runners-up. And of course, after 36 matches spread across 6 groups, the 16 survivors from 24 hopefuls clash in 8 second-round matches over 4 days. Fit again, Hakimi is set to lead title favourite Morocco against Tanzania, and Salah will captain talking about Egypt against the Benin Republic, and Osimhen will definitely inspire Nigeria as they take on talking about they tackle Mozambique. And of course, the pairings are already out as far as the round of 16 is concerned. And of course, for those who don't know, Senegal takes on Sudan, which is a bigger fixture as well for Senegal. But for Sudan, it's going to be a difficult one to narrow against, because veteran Sadio Mane and Paris Saint-Germain 17-year-old Ibrahim Mbaye in 2 appearances off the bench have been among the stars as 2022 champion Senegal confirmed why they are among the favorites by winning Group D. Sudan, representing the country ravaged by civil war since 2023, reached the second round despite failing to score. Their only Group F win against Equatorial Guinea came via an own goal. Wow! How do you make it to round of 16 without scoring a goal? That's the first of its kind, and it only happens in the African Cup of Nations. They won their only game via an own goal, and they are in the round of 16. How can you beat Senegal without even scoring a goal? The only goal you have to your name is an own goal. Wow, very interesting. And of course, Mali versus Tunisia will look very interesting because these two sides are well grounded when it comes to attacking. If we carry on playing like this, we will not go much further. And this is coming from Belgium-born Mali coach Tom Saintfiet after Group A draws. Okay, they drew 3 of their games, talking about Mali, to make it to the round of 16. Tunisia did well to hold Morocco, but were woeful against Nigeria until they trailed by 3 goals. And the Carthage Eagles then scored twice and came close to equalizing. And they say the rest is history. Tunisia will worry about Mali this time. And of course, there's also Morocco versus Tanzania, a mismatch on paper. That's Morocco, whose only previous title came 50 years ago, 101 places above Tanzania in the world rankings. The East Africans ended a 45-year wait to get past the first round thanks to 2 draws. Morocco boasts a potent strike force of Brahim Diaz from Real Madrid and Ayoub El Kabi of Olympiacos. They have scored 3 goals each to share the Golden Boot lead with Algerian Riyad Mahrez. And that's the pairing. And of course, we're talking about the game between Morocco and Tanzania. It looks like a mismatch. And of course, let's talk about South Africa versus Cameroon. South Africa debuted in the Afcon 30 years ago by hammering Cameroon 3-0 in Johannesburg. It should be much closer when they meet a second time with only 4 places separating them in the world rankings. In pursuit of goals, South Africa will look to Oswin Apolis and Lyle Foster, while 19-year-old Christian Kofane struck a stunning match winner for Cameroon against Mozambique. All right, that's going to be a very cleanly contested one. Talking about Morocco, Cameroon, I beg your pardon, up against the Bafana of South Africa. Talking about Bafana taking on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. And of course, there's also the game between Egypt and Benin Republic. That's going to be a big one for Mohamed Salah, struggling to score for Liverpool this season. Salah has regained his appetite for goals in southern Morocco. He claimed match winners against Zimbabwe and South Africa to win Group B. Benin celebrated their first Afcon win 25 years after debuting by edging Botswana. And the Cheetahs are a compact, spirited outfit led by veteran striker Steve Monet, but lack punch up front. Okay, they will need to start scoring goals if they will want to pull their weight against the Egyptians, who are definitely one of the title contenders as far as the Afcon 2025 is concerned. And the big one, talking about Nigeria versus Mozambique, Livewire Osimhen is a huge area threat and could have scored hat-tricks against Tanzania and Tunisia in Group C, but managed just 1 goal. And fellow former African Player of the Year, Ademola Lookman, has also impressed. Mozambique lost 3-0 in their previous Afcon meeting with the Super Eagles 16 years ago. It is likely to be tighter this time, with striker Geni Katamo posing a threat for the Mambas. Of course, the Mamba snake, they're very dangerous. They bite and they're very, very poisonous. The Super Eagles, of course, the Eagles are very good at killing snakes. Who knows? Definitely they will be able to pounce on the Mambas and get the desired victory to make them see the quarterfinal. And of course, there's also the big one everyone is looking forward to, talking about Nigerians as well, because the winner of this game between Algeria and DR Congo get to face the Super Eagles. Of course, who would you prefer? To fight against Riyad Mahrez or to go against the team that stopped the Super Eagles from making it to the World Cup? All right, the clash of 2 former champions is potentially the match of the round
It is the only tie involving two European coaches, talking about the Bosnian Vladimir Petkovic and Frenchman Sebastian Desabre. And Algeria and Nigeria were the only teams to win all three group matches. Former Manchester City winger Riyad Mahrez has been an inspirational captain while scoring 3 times. And of course, that's going to be a big one. Don't miss that game between Algeria and DR Congo. And of course, there's also Ivory Coast versus Burkina Faso. This is the only match featuring nations from the same region. Burkina Faso are defending champions, as Ivory Coast share a border in West Africa. Okay, and defending champions Ivory Coast, they share a very, very good border in West Africa. And Manchester United winger Amad Diallo was the only winner of 2 Player of the Match awards in the group stage. And the Ivorian now face impressive Burkinabe defenders. Edmond Tapsoba is a very, very stubborn and hard-fighting defender. The Ivorians will need to do very well to get the victory against the defense line of Burkina Faso. All right, and of course, and there's also Isufu Dayo. That name sounds Nigerian, Dayo. Okay, but I don't know where it came from, but it is what it is. He's going to be alongside Edmond Tapsoba, who is also in the team of the group stage. And of course, those are the pairings. As far as the knockout stage of the Afcon 2025 is concerned, Mali, Tunisia, Senegal versus Sudan. There's also Egypt up against Benin. There's Cote d'Ivoire versus Burkina Faso, South Africa versus Cameroon, and of course, Morocco up against Tanzania, Algeria versus DR Congo, and Nigeria versus Mozambique. Make sure you get used to those fixtures, because that's what it's going to look like in the round of 16. Let's enjoy some beats of the training session of the Super Eagles, and we'll return. You're still watching The Locker Room on Voice of the People Television.
I made way back in the Ville.
Everybody will double. Normalement, on met la pièce, mais du coup, il n'y a pas de pièce. Merry Christmas.
I don't tell us. I think you tell us. Everything else. So don't you want to listen? You don't like
De l'intérieur, de l'extérieur, parfait. Ok, Mona. Ok, perfect. Ok, baby. Inside, go inside. Your arms, use your arms. Ok, perfect, guys. After 2 times, you stop. Touch the ball. Ok, perfect, voilà. Ok, Mais Shido, perfect. Ok, Franck. Perfect. Hey. No, everybody will talk. Come on, mom, I'm just when you go to
Merry Christmas.
I don't tell us. I think you tell us.
Everything else.
Don't you want to listen? You don't like
Hassan. Wait, do it until you do it stuff. Okay.
The Eagles in high spirits. All right, Victor Simon, tell me where you did, Walele. And of course, that was the signature tune back then in the 90s to the 2000s when the Super Eagles were definitely a lot of Nigerians were so excited anytime the Eagles want to play a game. But it seems like that spirit is gone. But these guys, I think there's something exciting about this team Nigerians should look forward to. This team was at the final of the last Afcon, and they're the team to beat as far as the African Cup of Nations is concerned. Everyone at the Nations Cup is watching out for Nigeria, talking about the fans, the organizers, and of course the host nation, the big boys. They know that Nigeria is going to be a very difficult team. There's something unique about Nigeria. Anywhere they are, they always stand tall. They always among the best, among the rest. And of course, these players donning the green, white, green lookalike jerseys back of the Atlanta 96 team. And of course, quite a lot of memories, if you ask me. And of course, I must say the branding has been excellent. And of course, they're all dancing and looking so spirited. And I hope, and of course, Paul Onachu, not my very big man, but I think he has scored a goal to justify his inclusion at the Afcon. I would like to see him score more goals. You can see Chidozie Awaziem, and of course, Bruno Yemachi, even Paul Bansi, Calvin Bansi, I beg your pardon, who is an Inuit guy, born and bred in the UK, and all dancing and vibing to the Nigerian spirit. And of course, by Monday, we hope they'll put their money where their mouth is when they eventually take on talking about the Mozambique national team. And of course, you can even see Akko Adams is looking all spirited and dancing. And of course, looking all exciting, all looking bright and smiling like church cats. As far as a band of young guys, all excited to play for their country and of course do their country proud out there at the African Cup of Nations. They get to play the Mozambicans, and that will be on Monday. And of course, we'll be here to make sure we give you updates as far as that big game is concerned, because the Super Eagles will need to win that game if they want to be in the quarterfinals. But some have said that Mozambique should not be a difficult team to beat, but you must put your money where your mouth is. Beat them first, then you can say, okay, yes, you beat the Mozambicans to make it to the quarterfinal. Let's worry about the round of 16 and worry about who wins in the game against Algeria and DR Congo later after winning that game on Saturday. All right, let's go over to the English Premier League, where it looks like it's not good times. What a new year present for the coach of Chelsea. Enzo Maresca has left his role as Chelsea head coach after 18 months in charge. The Premier League club announced that was on New Year Day. The Italians' exit from Stamford Bridge comes with the club fifth in the Premier League table, 15 points adrift of leaders and London rivals Arsenal with 1 win in their last 7 top flight games. And speculation about Maresca's position increased during Chelsea's poor run of recent results amid reports of a worsening relationship between the coach and the club's hierarchy. Maresca did not attend the post-match press conference following a frantic 2-2 draw with Bournemouth on Tuesday, although his absence was attributed to illness. Maresca's decision to substitute Cole Palmer just after the hour mark during the Bournemouth game was booed by Chelsea fans, and the draw meant Chelsea had dropped 13 points at home from winning positions this season, the bulk of the 15-point deficit between the Blues and Arsenal. And Maresca has stood by comments made on December 13 after a league win at home to Everton, when he said, "Many people at Chelsea don't support me and the team." Okay, he repeatedly refused to clarify the comments, although he insisted they were not an attack on the club supporters. Okay, and of course, what a way to start the new year with a sack for Enzo Maresca, who I believe he has done excellently well. Taking a look at his record at Chelsea, he is one manager that has one of the best winning records ever as a Chelsea manager. He just won the Club World Cup recently, beating PSG in the final, beating Barcelona, and you get on to sack such a man. I think something's wrong out there at Chelsea, because Maresca has proven that he's the man for the job. But it is what it is. Coaching is all about sacking and hiring. And we wish Enzo Maresca the best, because he's been tipped to replace Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. If that's up, I think he has proven that he's a top manager. He can deliver when it matters the most, and he can coach a top club. Enzo Maresca, coming from Leicester City and going on to the Chelsea side, and embarrassed with a lot of players. No, not top world-class players. He was able to manage them, beat big teams, and do big things. He's a man with a big heart. Talking about Enzo Maresca, a top manager. I don't know what the plan is for Chelsea this season. Are they going to get a top manager? Because it doesn't look like a top manager is going to manage the game against Manchester City this weekend, because they have to worry about Manchester City, their first game without Enzo Maresca. And talking about Man City trailed Arsenal by 4 points at the top of the Premier League after failing to end Sunderland's unbeaten home record in a goalless draw on New Year Day, while Liverpool were also held by Leeds. What's happening with New Year Day games? 2 draws. Wow, for the 2 big sides. The 45-year-old said the days leading up to the 2-0 victory over Everton were the worst 48 hours of his time at Chelsea. I'm still talking about Enzo Maresca. Sorry about that. Okay, and of course, if we take a look at the situation for Manchester City, it's a really difficult one as far as the side's situation is concerned. And of course, we also saw Liverpool also held by a draw against the Leeds. Everyone expected that Liverpool was going to win that game, but something just happened. They didn't just get the result. Sunderland's unbeaten home record in a goalless draw continues, and it's really very difficult. Fixtures pile up for talking about the side. And of course, taking a look at the Premier League table, Arsenal fans will be excited, but it's not yet uhuru as far as the top, talking about winning the league is concerned. After match day 19, Arsenal on top with 45 points, and followed up by Manchester City, who they lead by 4 points. And after the draw against Sunderland, Aston Villa still sitting pretty, but 6 points now behind Arsenal after they lost to Arsenal. They are in their other fixture, and Liverpool, not too good times playing that draw, still makes them on top of Chelsea and Manchester United, which is good enough for me as far as those who want the best for Liverpool is concerned. And of course, Chelsea not looking good. Manchester United, I don't know what they have to do to stay in the top 4. maybe they will have to consult Irabiji to Mayowa to see what's actually happening. And of course, the top 4 looks very good. Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa, and Liverpool. Chelsea not too far off with just 3 points behind Liverpool, as well as Manchester United. And of course, Sunderland looking good with just 4 points off the top 4 position, as well as Everton just 5 points off the top 4 position. And of course, Wolves 3 points after 19 games. Wow, that should be a record for a side in the Premier League. Just 3 points after 19 games. Wow. I think the coach should be fired as soon as possible. They should be changing managers every week, because how do you just have 3 points after 19 matches? That's like only 1 game and 18 losses for Wolves. That's the same team Manchester United could not beat anyway. They played a draw against this side. That means out of those 3 points, 1 courtesy of Manchester United. I think Wolves will appreciate them for that one. Adding to the other 2 they got along the way to make it 3 points out of 19 games. That's scandalous for a Wolves side who have been a tough team to beat in the past years. They've developed a lot of great players in the Premier League, and to see them languishing on the bottom of the table, it's not good for a team that once used to be a thorn in the flesh for the big boys out there in the English Premier League. I will say Manchester United is not a big team as far as the English Premier League is concerned recently, because drawing against Wolves proves that they are not a big team yet. Okay, they're not back to big time, not a big team. Anyway, let's go over to the Spanish La Liga, where it looks like Barcelona boss Hans Flick today backed Joan Garcia to overcome hostility during his this weekend's debut at Espanyol. The goalkeeper's first return to the Spanish Giants crosstown rivals since his summer transfer. The 24-year-old shortstopper infuriated Espanyol fans after joining their illustrious local rivals in June for around 26 million euros. A fiery atmosphere is expected on Saturday for Garcia's return to the RCDE Stadium, where a win would move the defending La Liga champions temporarily 7 points clear of Real Madrid at the top. Espanyol have ramped up security for the game, installing netting behind the both goals to prevent the throwing of objects at players and banning entry to any fan carrying or wearing Barcelona symbols, and asked about the possible impact on Garcia, who has locked down his status as Barcelona's first choice the goalkeeper since arriving. Flick told reporters he had no worries about his player. And this Barcelona derby, a usually one-sided fixture, which Espanyol have not won at home in La Liga since 2007, is set to be a tight one. Definitely all eyes will be on that fixture, because these 2 teams are local rivals, and it reminds me of the days when Luis Figo left Barcelona to join up with Real Madrid. We all know the rivalry between these 2 sides. It's a very difficult one for any player who makes a move from a rival club to another rival club. And of course, this game is going to be killing contested. We hope the violence will not be allowed. Okay, I want to send a message to the Espanyol fans. Keep it simple. It's all about football. Let's stay away from the violence. Football without violence, that is what I preach here on this platform, on the locker room. All right, time really fast, man. We just have to wrap it up. I want to say big thanks to all those who made the show great. Talking about my guys behind the scene who's been awesome on the show this lovely day. And of course, I want to say Happy New Year to all our viewers all around the world. Those who are watching us on YouTube, who follow us up on Facebook, as well as on X, and not leaving out TikTok. We're also on Elsa TV channel 264. That's where we are as far as the cable is concerned. You can also drop your comments on the comment section. We'll take those comments and we'll take them seriously in terms of getting feedback from you. Big thanks to the likes of Adura, not leaving out, talking about Manfred, Ikechukwu, and of course Paul. Maiwa unfortunately could not join us till the end of the program due to some technical issues. I apologize for that, but definitely we'll be able to have him as the year continues. All right, a big thanks to you once again for joining us on the locker room. Enjoy the rest of the weekend fixtures. And up next is Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. My name remains Jerry Apelihai. Saying stay safe, and if not waiting at all, do it the sport way, and Happy New Year.
We are here with the leadership of VOP Television Lagos. We do appreciate this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to our viewers all over the world and admirers. Cheers.
ẹ̀yin tèmi ní nàìjíríà lókè òkun mò ń kí yín fún kérésìmesì ọdún yìí á yabo fún wa o gbogbo àlàrí bá ti ṣe tààrọ náà gbégbá o. I wish my fans all over the world in Europe, America, Australia, everywhere a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Catch ya next year.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Whether you've been with us through the ups and downs or just joined us for this festive season,
take a moment to cherish the moments you've made and look forward to making new ones on the horizon.
May this new year bring you everything good, everything prosperous.
As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome you to the new year,
may your heart be filled with joy and your home with laughter. And of course, may your spirit be filled with hope.
We'll be bringing you live updates, exciting performance, and inspiring stories throughout the day.
stay tuned for our special New Year's coverage and let's make this year unforgettable.
Thank you for making us a part of your celebration.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From crowded city streets to rural communities, from riverbanks to oceans, individual families and organizations are joining hands to rid our planet of waste. Plastic pollution, litters, and unmanaged waste have become major threats to both human health and biodiversity. But today proves that the collective action can bring real change. Let's hear from an expert who is an SDGG advocate and the founder of EcoCity Vision, Comfort Omolara Alabi.
The World Cleanup Day is a global movement that brings millions of people together to take actions against waste. And it is significant because it is to show that waste isn't just a local problem, but a global one that affects our health, environment, and economy. In today's world, where 2 billion tons of waste are being generated every year, it is important to raise awareness concerning this, encourage collective responsibility, and inspire long-term behavioral change towards a cleaner and more sustainable future for planet. Poor waste management has caused a lot of environmental challenges like flooding, which is due to the blocked drainages, air pollution from open burning of waste, contamination of water, which has led to increase in diseases like cholera and malaria. It also contributes to climate change because decomposing of waste releases greenhouse gases like methane, CO2, and these gases trap it in the atmosphere, which causes natural disasters like flooding and Ukraine. In Nigeria, some major challenges we faced when it comes to waste management is the inadequate waste collection system. We don't have enough of waste collection services, and this has led to uncollected waste. And there's also low public awareness. People don't even know about the importance of proper waste disposal. And one problem again is the poor recycling facility. There are not enough facilities, and this has led to so many waste going to the landfill, and it has brought upon pressure on the landfill. And also lastly, the indiscriminate dumping, whereby people just dump their waste anywhere, and this has led to so many environmental challenges. It is important we take care of our environment because there are a lot of things happening in our environment that we are not aware of, and waste is something that is very harmful to the environment, and which many people don't even know about the harmful effect. We have a lot of people going through health challenges, but they don't know that the things happening in their environment are actually the one causing it. So I feel like if you are hygienic and then we are taking care of our environment, it is going to like bring more of like good health, and we don't have to spend money on taking care of our health every time.
The aim of this day is not just to pick up trash, but to raise awareness about the danger of plastic pollution, poor waste management, and unsustainable consumption habits. According to the United Nations, about 2 billion tons of municipal waste are generated each year, much of it ending up in the ocean and landfills, threatening wildlife and human health. We also spoke to the assistant of the EcoCity Vision, Okpeyemi Boluwatife Afuwakwe.
So globally, it started in Estonia in 2008, where everyone has to rush in to clean up the community in less than 5 hours. Then from there, we started locally at Nigeria, where over 60 million volunteered annually to clean up the community. And this is where EcoCity Vision comes in, where everyone, both the community-based cities, the NGOs, the students, and group of people came in to clean up the community. This is what happened daily, I would say.
So the plastics have affected everyone mostly, especially in my community where I've seen both rural areas and urban areas. It's like it affects us both harmful, especially for our health, where we have to take plastic as something that we have to reuse, recycle and reduce. One thing I would say is we have to use the 3